the new blurred order. You should too.
Whoa.
Let me get all this 10p Wayne. All the niggas rapping about the same old thing. I've been coming through with the same old gang. Ain't shit changed except 9 got a name. Got it out the mud but we got no stains. Cold ass bitch with a gold ass chain. The girl call me daddy, not my government name. Money on my mind, got them bands on my brain. Let me tell y'all about a nigga I know. The nigga say clean, so he always got hoes.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't like the intro like that. I prefer to start the way we usually do, which is hey. Yeah, oh yeah, y'all already know what it is. It's your boy, the real Miss Taylor, joined by the homie Bad Ty and the homie Yaz. And who knows who may join us along the road. What's happening, folks out there in TV and radio and internet land? What's happening? Nolly is in the chat. Never forgiving her. Just playing. It's good to see y'all. This morning we're going to chat a little bit about this Joker movie that I'm hearing was actually a real ass musical. Is that really what we want? Let's talk about it. And of course, there's other things afoot. As you know, we have the Joker movie came out yesterday with I think it's Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga playing the roles. Let's go on it. The Penguin had another episode. We're loving it. I'm loving it. Let's talk to see if everybody agrees with me. Rings of Power, the finale just popped off yesterday. Oh, was it yesterday? No, Thursday. And yeah, man, we definitely have to discuss what it is that went down, what didn't go down, and what we have to predict for the next season, because clearly they're aiming for another season. Agatha all along is on episode 4, and my God, is it over? If not, when will it be over? Wake me up when the show is over, because let me stop. I know everybody doesn't love the show. I guess there's a cult following for it, pun intended, and we'll talk about what that is. Legend of Vox Machina is back. 3 fire-ass episodes for your ass. If you're into this stuff, then now is a good time to go ahead and tune on in. I know I got a chance. And they're only like 30-minute episodes, so pull on up, man. And yes, that's what's going on today. I am here with none other than Yaz and Ty. Should I play the intro again? Should I play it again? I'm used to playing it. I feel like
yeah. I just want to dance. Go ahead, play it.
Just go ahead, play it.
I love the new blurred order. You should too.
Whoa.
Let me get all this 10p Wayne. All the niggas rapping about the same old thing. I've been coming through with the same old gang. Ain't shit changed except 9 got a name. Got it out the mud but we got no stains. Cold ass bitch with a gold ass chain. The girl call me daddy, not my government name. Money on my mind, got them bands on my brain. Let me tell y'all about a nigga I know. The nigga say clean, so he always got hoes. Light skinny bitches like
Ty, you like the intro, huh?
Right?
Oh,
he was jamming like
that's my joint, man. Shout out to Mouse, man. We really appreciate you for that fire, man. We waiting for the next joint to drop. We waiting patiently.
Yeah, Mouse, that's a fire ass Wings and Things, I believe it's called. You can download that on Spotify or whatever, man. Mouse is the homie for real. But yeah, man, we got lots to talk about. Let's just go ahead and get right on into it. For those who don't know, the Joker movie was released this week, and it is not, as of this moment, getting rave reviews from everybody. Okay, it is a continuation of the first Joker movie, and my question for y'all is: did y'all like the first Joker movie, the Joaquin Phoenix original Joker movie, where they put you did? Yes, you were a fan.
Yeah, it was. I mean, obviously, it was different, but I mean, like, that's what I liked about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to see what happened when people snap the process. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was deep. It was very intimate, and I really enjoyed that movie, to be honest with you. So I'm kind of curious to see how this movie is now that they've turned it into a musical, though.
You know
Ty,
you like it?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Joaquin Phoenix's performance in the Joker was Emmy worthy. He does well in these type of acting projects. So I mean I'm interested to see what this new one is about. I like Lady Gaga a lot. I didn't realize she had the acting chops that she had, but she does. She's multi-talented. The girl's got pipes. She can sing her behind off. So if this is a musical, and she's singing, I'm here for it. I don't, you know me, I'm not really into musicals, but y'all got me watching Agatha. So I mean, what can I say?
Hey, don't put that evil on me.
The things I'll do for my team. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'll check it out. I'm interested.
All right. Well, I'm on record saying that this movie is going to surprise people, that we're going to end up liking it despite the fact that it's a musical. I'm on record saying that it's probably going to do numbers again because Lady Gaga, as we all agree, I think is a phenomenal talent. You know, despite whatever role she's in, she's a phenomenal talent. But the reviews right now are not necessarily so kind to this movie. I haven't seen it, full disclosure. None of us have seen it, so no worry about any spoilers this morning, I guess. I mean, unless any of these reviews have any spoilers. But let's just real quick, briefly, just take a look at what this trailer is all about. And for those who haven't seen it, this is what you should expect if you do indeed get a chance to watch the movie. So here it is.
Well, I'll tell you what's changed. I'm not alone anymore.
You can do anything you want.
I think it's a little too much. A little much. Who am I speaking to now? Which one of you is here? So you don't think this is me? Look at all these people. Who do you think they see?
You're Joker.
Joker. Get tickets now. Only in theaters October 4th. Rated R.
The rated R aspect is intriguing. I'm not gonna lie. I love a rated R movie. And the movie itself, just based off of what we just saw, looks intriguing, right? I mean, if that's the movie, I'm cool. But when they break off into that third or fourth song, that's when I'm looking at the watch, like, how much time we have left in this movie, right? I mean, so I guess my hopes is that when I see this movie on Netflix or on Fire Stick, because I don't think I'm going to run out and sit. I can't risk this sitting in a movie that turns out to be a 2-hour musical. I can't risk it. And it's not even a Disney. Like, I can see if speak in Spanish. Like, if we're doing Cinderella or what I'm saying, I'm here for Aladdin. But the Joker, nah, man. I mean, even with Lady Gaga, I just can't do it. And I was not a fan of the first one, especially since I was still riding on that Heath Ledger Joker high. You know what I'm saying? It's so difficult for me to watch it turn into Arthur. What's his name again? Arthur Fling or whatever the fuck his name is. This Arthur. This Joker. I don't know, man. So I am going to wait a little further to get a little bit more intel. But since we're on the subject already, let's see
Vinny.
Yeah,
Vinny, real quick.
Whatever.
I don't know why you said that, because we got some of the best sleep we ever had when we went to go see Green Knight.
Green Knight.
Yo, we went to see, bro. We got some of the best sleep. Yo, I woke up, Vinny sleep. I went back to sleep. I was like, all right. It's me. It's not just me, man. But the reviews for this are terrible. So far, like, they are getting hammered by the reviews. Yeah, they're getting hammered by the reviews. I was a little bit on the side of the belief that maybe it could work, because one of my favorite Batman movies was the one when the Joker was singing in the streets and dancing and pulled out the big boy gun when Jack Nicholson was dancing and doing it. You know what I mean? That was one of my favorite Batman movies, but apparently it's not going over well with the public. And right now, Rotten Tomatoes, I think, has this movie listed at 33%.
33%.
33%. Hold on, but that's not it's not so much the 33%. It's the audience rating that I gotta like bring. If the audience rating for this is 1.7 out of 5, that is super low. That is super low for an audience, because a lot of times when you look at Rotten Tomatoes, sometimes it could be skewed. So you're like, all right, I'm gonna go check it. But when the audience, the actual people that are going to see it, are like, this is terrible, yeah, then that gives me pause. That gives me pause, man.
Two things real quick. So number one, we want to go ahead and welcome our esteemed colleague, the movie blogger himself, Mr. Anthony, into the building. Let me get some applause. Hey. What's happening, my man? Loving the backdrop. We're having some Was that applause, or was that like rocks being thrown up against the wall?
That was applause, man. Like, look, listen. I only play this. I don't make it.
It's kind of like somebody left their keys in the washing machine.
Here, how about this? All
right. Well, anyway, we're having a joke combo. Did you get a chance to see it, bro?
Nah, man. So I was supposed to see it on Wednesday, but I didn't hear good things about it. So I figured my time was better used doing other things.
Same. So none of us have seen it. So I wanted to bring you in. Thanks for pulling up. But we do have a commenter. One of our comments. One of our followers. I see Danielle and Charles, who've been following. Danielle. I'm sorry, Danielle. I think I met y'all at a comedy show, if I'm not mistaken, a while back.
We did at MegaCon.
Yeah, we met them at MegaCon.
So Danielle, excuse me. They're caping for the movie. They're saying, look. This was a master class in acting. All right, 9 out of 10. Wow. It's certainly better than what it's saying on Rotten Tomatoes. Watch first, then comments. Okay. Hate just to be okay. Look, we know what it's like to have projects hated on just to be hated on, but just for the record, let's see the reviews that they're talking about. So, this is a page that kind of gives us an idea of what everybody else is saying. Well, these are actual critics. These aren't just regular moviegoers. These are critics. So this is what one of the critics says. And they're mixed bags for the critics. Joker, Folie à Deux is more than a sequel. It is a masterful deep dive into the psyche of its characters, enveloping the audience in a world of chaos, artistry, and human frailty. It goes on and on, but I won't read everything just for time's sake. The next one says, this movie was 0.5 out of 100. It's like there's a fraction. Complete waste of time, all caps. The director doesn't even understand his own movie. Todd Phillips is the one living in a fantasy. The reason he neutered the Joker in this second movie is because Todd Phillips is an elite first Joker movie. He personally creates a character trying to push the idea that if you, the average person who probably gets abused and run through by those who are higher up in society, you stand up for yourself. You are the problem. Wow, this guy. Okay, this next one. Wow, that was rough. It's 1 out of 5 stars. I had a couple friends see this movie before I did, and they all hated it. After seeing all the negative buzz online, I thought it couldn't possibly be as bad as everyone was saying. But wow, it really is. It's a surprisingly confusing mess of a sequel. Honestly, the most fun I had was during the car ride there and back, listening to Warhammer 40K more. All right, let's keep it going. Here's the next one. What are we gonna do? We're gonna build a mountain. The first time I saw your face, I felt the sunrise in my heart. No spoilers. Pure fire. Okay, this one is a supporter. Pure fire. Psychosis, Psyche's plunge. An impressive art, Haas character study, brooding, polished. What is this? A haiku? What the fuck? All right, somebody likes it. All right, here's another one. We'll let this be the last of the critics. Joker Folie à Deux is captivating musical exploration of shared delusion between Arthur and Lee, brought to life by Joaquin Phoenix's extraordinary performance and Lady Gaga's mesmerizing vocals. That vocals word has me nervous. Todd Phillips' impeccable direction and cinematography enhance the film's visual appeal, while the frequent musical interludes and a unique dimension. The musical interludes for me, guys. I don't know if I'm built for musical interludes. Quick question, Anthony, did you see the first Joker movie?
I did.
And what were your thoughts on the first Joker movie?
So the first Joker movie was like a nice welcome surprise. Like it was a movie I came into it. I had really low expectations. I'm like, a movie just no Batman. Where is Batman? Right? Like is he going to cameo in? Like what are we doing? And then like when I watched it, I think at first I was like bored, like going through it, and then as the movie progressed, I started to understand like, all right, this is a character study. We're looking at a man who's psychotic. We're looking at a dude who really has a real loose grip on reality, and we're getting a look at the world through the lens of somebody who's insane. And that made the movie really appealing. That really made it what worked for me. Plus, I like Zazie Beetz. She's just great.
Oh God, say less. That's it. Like literally, me and you same page.
But I liked it. It was cool. It was cool. It was a good little movie. It was a pleasant surprise. It wasn't what I expected. This movie, I don't know. I'm curious to see how it compares. If it's the same kind of vibe, or if they really just went off went in a completely different direction.
Right. Well, it sounds like it's getting beat up. Let's check out what Instagram says about the movie. Okay, so let's look at these comments. You guys ruined it. This movie is so bad. I want a Joker and Harley running around and fucking up Gotham, Bonnie and Clyde, not running around skipping and singing musicals. All right. Honestly, I feel sorry about this. Joaquin is always a wonderful actor. Always gives his best, which I totally admire. Gaga's voice is powerful, marvelous, sure. But what I truly wanted to see was a film instead it was 80% musical and going through film. Whenever we think there is going to be a radical change with a specific scene, it actually doesn't. So Joaquin deserved better. Sorry. All right. Another comment. I can feel this is going to be another masterpiece. Okay. The joke. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, here's a positive review. The story of the Joker and Lee got me crying a lot. Gaga is so amazing. She played so well that I felt in love with her character. There was just a perfect amount of music in the film. It was a real pleasure to watch the whole movie in theater. I definitely will rewatch it, see more details, understand it better. There's more, but I won't go. It's a pretty long review. This movie is all right. There's none of that. Either it's phenomenal or it's trash. Like there is no in between with this movie. I'm a little nervous. Who's gonna be the sacrificial lamb and be the first one to run out and see this shit?
I'll probably see it. I mean, I know I'll see it. But I'm so confused at what Warner Brothers is trying to, because I'm not gonna say DC because this is Warner Brothers. Right. And I'm where's this going exactly? Because how does this connect to anything? Like Matt Reeves is over here building his universe. We got the DCEU that's just in shambles. We don't even know what the hell they got going on.
It's gone.
Excuse me. Okay. Oh, so they killed it. All right. So more importantly, where does the villains and like where does the heroes and anybody, like, are we just gonna keep focusing on Joker? And if that's the case, where do you implement new characters? Because right now you got Harley Quinn, you got, I think, 3 versions of Harley Quinn at this point. So like, where does this tie into anything? Like, it's cool to do an origin story on the Joker. Cool, we got that in the first one. The second one is him being locked up, her, Harley coming in being his psychiatrist, as we know she has been in the past. And so I'm just curious to know where the end game, what's the end game for all of this stuff that they're doing with Joker? Because frankly, if they're going to do it with Joker, then who's the next villain that you're going to spotlight and do the same characterizations of? I mean, I want to see this type of stuff. What's up?
I think that when our boy James Gunn said that he was coming into I think that he declared that this was a part of Elseworld. So this is where they do whatever the fuck they want and ain't got shit to do with the DC projects. There's no like intertwining of this Todd Phillips Joker story with what he's building with the DCU, with like the new Superman, Supergirl, with the Green Lanterns. This ain't got nothing. These are solo projects that are coming out that ain't got shit to do with. And we know that's the case because at the end, I saw that Danielle and Charles said that it connects to the Robert Pattinson, and I completely disagree. At the end of the Batman movie, they gave us a completely different Joker than Joaquin Phoenix. So I don't think that this one has anything to do with Pattinson. But hey, we'll see what's going on, Daniel. So I frankly think that these are one-offs that they're riding the wave of the Academy acclaim that they got for the first one, and they're trying to squeeze a little bit of more juice out of it. They're like, fuck it, we're gonna go even further. You know what I'm saying? Let's not forget. Do we know who Todd Phillips is? For those of y'all who don't know Todd Phillips isn't known for doing shit like Schindler's List and Braveheart. He's known for Hangover. Okay, like The Hangover is his move. It's like his claim to fame. He called The Hangover his Star Wars. So he's a comedic writer. So for him to, he's done some other projects too that may not have been all comedic, but that's his real big claim to fame. And now this is his new Hollandaise coup de grace, creme de la creme project. And so he wants it to be as artsy as possible. And it looks like the artsiness is clashing with the folks who just want a crazy ass Joker to be a psycho murdering motherfucker without all of the lullabies and shit. So I don't know. I'm really eager to, I hate to do this to us, but this is a case study that we might have to sacrifice our own taste to watch and see how we feel about it. I don't know if I'm just willing to sacrifice my screen time in the movies. And I think I'd rather just watch it on Ty's Fire Stick.
So quick question, Danielle. So you're saying that Robert Pattinson shows up at the end of this movie? Is that what you're saying? Because he said so at the end. Yes, he is in this too. So if Robert Pattinson's Batman is in this, that's hella confusing. That is super confusing.
First of all, pause, because if that's a spoiler, that sounds like a major spoiler. that sounds like a twist that we just learned, which I'm fine with because this ain't a movie that I was like, you know what I'm saying, looking for.
I'm okay with it too. But
if what you're saying is that there's that Pattinson shows up in this Joker, then now I'm even more pissed. Like if the Batman sequel has any goddamn singing in it, if Zoe Kravitz breaks up into song while she's on the train, I'm gonna be pissed as fuck, bro. Okay, all right. Well, we'll wait to see. Well, listen, the fact of the matter is, here are the facts. It is not a movie that everybody is raving about. This movie already has mixed reviews. It's never good. Just I know that people will cape for this for as long as they want, but it's never good to start with less than 5%, less than a 5 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. That's not a good start. So Joker, we're wishing the best for you, and we'll probably, come back and, maybe we'll have different thoughts after we've actually seen it. But for right now, unfortunately, it's not looking good. Question is, who's gonna be the first? Which one of y'all gonna go out there and see it? Who gonna go see it today? Come on. Who's coming with me? Come on. Who gonna see it? Come on.
I'm kind of sleepy. I'm kind of sleepy. I might could get a good night's sleep.
They seen Anthony movie like earlier this year, and he's like, no, I'm not fucking with that shit. Yo. Well, I'm interested to see what we think about it. One of us has got to bite that bullet, man, and check that out. It can't be as bad as Morbius, right? I mean, could it? Maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
One thing I know about Todd Phillips is that he doesn't have a good track record with sequels, right? Like The Hangover was great. His sequels,
good point.
That's
Very
true.
good point.
So, like with this, my expectations are really low. Like I have Hangover 2 expectations.
That makes sense. Well, hey, listen, the movie's out today. Please go ahead and check it out if it's your thing, and report back to base at 0800. Give us your thoughts. Let us know what you're feeling it. But yeah, it's for me, it's not giving box office. It's giving bootleg, and I will probably see it for free sometime in the next few days. Moving right along, though, I'm not gonna lie. I want to get into, since we are talking DC, into the Penguin, because the Penguin did have another episode this week. It is so fire. I want to talk about it, but I want to talk before we get into the Penguin about the finale. Did you all get a chance to see the finale
of Rings of Power?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. It was like you didn't do your segue. You didn't segue that one correctly, but all right, we got.
I did.
It's all good.
I fucked it up. All right, it's all good. But I did try to segue, but I fucked it up. It is what it is. Here we are. It's too late. So yeah, the Rings of Power had the finale. I'm assuming we all had a chance to take a look at it. I'm just gonna jump off, throw it out there, man. What are your thoughts? Anybody have any thoughts on the Rings of Power? Did you love it? I'm not gonna do the thumbs up and thumbs down, because I'm just gonna keep it real. I can't imagine anybody not liking the sequel. Maybe you didn't love it, but I can't see anybody not like it.
I loved it.
I loved it.
I loved it too.
I loved it, man.
Okay. What?
So many questions.
Did it answer questions? Okay, let's
absolutely.
All right. Well, listen. Well, before we get into everything that happened, why don't we trust our esteemed colleague Yasmin Strickland?
I was gonna say,
yeah, I'm about to. Yeah, hold on. Austin was about to stick his head in. We're like, hold on.
Nah, yo. So let's go ahead and get Yaz in here to give us the background on what it is that happened this week on the Rings of Power. Looking forward to her, the Yaz breakdown. So go ahead and let us hear what it is took place this week. Yazzie, let go.
All right, y'all. It's the breakdown. Rings of Power season finale. This was epic. From start to finish, I didn't have any moment that I didn't absolutely love this episode, and I'm sure if you guys watched it, you had the same exact feelings. So we started out this episode with King Durin still trying to get into that mountain. This man is hella persistent for a dwarf, dog. That's all I got to say about that. And what did we find? The motherfucking Balrog! I'm just saying, y'all were right. Kudos to you. I'll tip my hats off to you. Y'all were right. And that was epic too. He looked amazing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, hands down. It was, that battle. Whew, we lost the king, so I'm gonna say. You all gotta check it out because it was an epic entrance for the Balrog. And I don't even know, like, you guys, did you see the ring he took off though? Like that was my biggest like about that whole, he left the ring. So is the ring now a Balrog? Like where's the, you know what I'm saying? Like where is his ring? Like King Durin took his ring off and then all that shit happened and then it collapsed. Whew. I guess we'll find out later on. But we're gonna keep going. Our man, the Istar, he's still on this journey and this quest trying to figure out who he is. Where's his staff? Where's his friend? And, you know, Tom Bombadil is all like, make your choices, Istar. I love Tom Bombadil. He is a hell of a character, and we get to actually see him basically kind of trick the Istar into making the right decision by being so, you know, so I don't know, he was like a fairy godmother is what I would call him, like a wizard fairy godmother. I think Tom Bombadil is like, he's the best. I freaking love him. But we get to see the Istar and it was pretty epic. He got a showdown with the fucking dark wizard finally. And just as we suspected, that nigga he's crazy. He killed all of the store people, most of them anyway, and that whole entire area is just like completely destroyed. But we did find out him and the Istar are connected. There's 5 wizards that are kin. So, do you guys know who 5 wizards are? Because obviously, we know 2, right? Offhand.
We know 3. We know 3 wizards because they showed Radagast in the Hobbit movies. He was the wolf wizard.
They did. Oh, Radagast was the best one too. If we could keep it real, like the motherfucker was riding on animals and shit. Radagast, Gandalf. Saruman, and then the new
2 blue wizards.
Dark Wizard and Tom Bombadil.
Nah, there's two blue wizards that we never actually see in the movies that they're supposed to explore.
Okay.
Oh, hey, whoops. All right. Well, yes, you got it. I'm
Okay, well now we know that all the five. So I'm just saying, y'all gotta get rewatch the movies and some shows, because obviously we need to go deep diving into this. But there's 5 of them, and the cool part is that Nori, oh man, Nori and the wizard, they finally reunite. But is it good? Is it bad? You're gonna have to find out what happens between the two. And the crazy part is Numenor. What the fuck is happening in Numenor with this Phazon? I can't stand him. I'm not gonna lie. Out of all of the characters in this entire show, he is my most hated. I just want to smack him and him too. His son. I don't even know what his son's name is. That's how like mad of a person. I don't even care. I just don't like him. Like that's all I know is like his face is punchable. That's all I'm saying. If y'all agree with me, comment below, because I just feel like. Yeah, he's got a hella punchable face, but Phazon done went crazy, and this man told the entire Numenor country that Queen Muriel is in accord with Sauron, and declared anyone who is loyal to her is a treacherous person. They will be put to death or thrown in jail. We don't even know what's happening to these people, but we did get to see at least the sea captain. He escaped though. All right. So that's, you know what I'm saying? Like Elendil, is that he escaped. So the queen sacrificed herself for her main man, and he got to get his sword and know that she wants him to take her place as the rightful ruler when they throw the fuck over Pharazôn. So that was kind of cool. He got his little flowers as he escaped and did the look back. But that's not all, because y'all, we got to see the saddest death ever. Our boy, Celebrimbor. He got 5 arrows in his ass. That's all I have to say about that. Like, Sauron was just using him as a fucking puppet, dog. Like, what the hell was going on with that crazy ass man? 5. I counted them shits. I paused. I looked. 5. All right. He got 2 in the chest, 1 in the arm, 1 in the leg, and then 1 in the abdomen. I'm fucking done with this man. All right. And not only did he take all of those arrows, that motherfucker pushed on it. Did you see him push on it?
Oh, yeah. He pushed down.
Oh, I swear to God, I had to pause because I was like, that motherfucker! I'm not going to lie. Sauron, I'm so glad that Anthony got a like 1-to-1 episode with him, because, oh my God, he is on a next level evil. Like, Bad Ty loves talking about villains that are true villains. This is a fucking true villain right here. And I'm not going to lie, I love to hate him. He is so fucking great and evil and maniacal. It is like on next level shit. But if you want to see that interview, you got to tune in to our last show. And that's over on YouTube. There will be a link at the bottom of this live stream, when it's over. Check back on YouTube for that video. But all I have to say is I just the way that he went out though, Celebrimbor not only turned the tables on Sauron by letting him know that he is a prisoner of those rings. The Lord of those rings. That was poetic.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we got the spear in the stomach, and then he just left him there, like that was fucked up. Oh my God. Whew. But this motherfucker is so deviant. Okay. What's up, Papa Strickland? Thank you. Okay. Anyway, so Sauron is so deviant. He even convinced the Oryx to switch on Adar. And how did they do it? They used his main child, the one that he was most loyal to, the one he listened to, basically his confidant. He just he got into his head, and that man was like, I think Sauron's better for us. After that war that took place in Eregion, and Adar was like, send them in, send the troll, and I don't care if he's gonna kill us. Them kids, they became young adults that day, and Daddy had to pay. But the way Daddy paid, oh my God. I'm just saying, Adar, I'm glad we got to see him, you know, in his true form. That was really, really cool. He was wearing a Nea. That's, you know, we got to see him wearing Galadriel's ring because obviously, you know, he got the ring from Elrod. He put it on and he tried to treat with her. And I thought that was really interesting that he was like, you know, trying to basically like be allies with her. And the way that, you know, he did it was like, you know, help me earn my name back. If I had other names, help me earn my name. Anthony, do you by any chance know what Adar's name was?
No, I don't know what his real name was.
So we're gonna have to figure that one out because I'm super freaking curious to find out what Adar's name was. You know what I'm saying? Before he became Adar, because he didn't earn that name; it was given to him, is what he said. So I'm really curious in the comments. If you guys know, please let us know because I'm super curious to find out about that. But after we, you know, have this touching moment with him and Galadriel, and he gives that girl her ring back, and it's all touching and loving. His aura come and deceive him, and yo, that was poetic justice the way his ass died. The stabbing, the way they did Morgoth. Oh,
Yeah.
All of them. Oh my god! And then when he was down and they were still, I was like, damn. Yeah, those are some pissed off kids. This is what you don't do in a relationship right here. Okay, don't stab your parent that many times. Like, just don't do it. Just don't do it. It was, oh my god. Because what ended up happening? Exactly what Adar said to their asses. This may be bad, but it's nothing compared to what Sauron will make you, what will have you do. And what happened? That motherfucker lost his life real quick, did he not?
Yeah.
The rest of them. Oh, I'm just saying. But we did get a fucking showdown because guess who fucking pops up? You know, like, oh hey, my children. Right as Adar is getting fucking stabbed. It's fucking Sauron. And that battle between him and Galadriel was epic. That's all I have to say about that. She fucking 300 kicked his ass off the cliff. I was like, yo, this girl right here, I'm just saying, like, this why I love Galadriel, because I'm just saying, she kicked the fuck out of him and he just right off the cliff, dog. It was beautiful, poetic fucking justice. That's all I have to say. Like, I can't even think of why Sauron would think he would what, transform into Halbrand and that would get her. And then I'm sorry, from Halbrand, he's like, fuck this, I'm gonna be her. Now you are, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I, bitch? I'm you. Yeah. What's up? And then he's like, nah. I'm Celebrimbor. What's up? Yeah. Galadriel, the rings. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we got to see him stab her and, you know, try and use the dark wizard magic. That shit didn't work because, yo, guess who came to save her after, I'm sorry, this bitch leaped off a fucking cliff, like, to get away from this motherfucker, like, just, like, literally. Bro, and then did you get to see Elrod watch her leap off the cliff? Like, that was a hell of a fucking fall.
Yeah, that was
How do these elves live? Because I'm just saying, we got to see our boy die, and then he came back. So like Arondir, did y'all peep that little showdown when we were in town? And Elrod was like, "Don't burn the scrolls. We need all of the knowledge from Celebrimbor." No, and this motherfucker is like trying to kick some ass and save the day. Did we watch him get his shit slit?
Well, I said this last week. I told y'all that I didn't think he was dead. Like, they stabbed him, but elves are fucking elves, man. They're not human beings. You know what I'm saying?
But like how strong is a fucking elf though? Like, Galadriel got stabbed a bunch of times. She fucking lives. Like, and she jumped off a cliff. This motherfucker gets fucking.
They're immortal. They're immortal.
Fuck they're not. Yo, did you not watch all of the elves get killed with arrows, with a shot from an arrow? Right. Like, come on now. So we have some elves that can live and some that can't. Like, come on, this is crazy.
No.
I agree.
Arondir got shot once. He didn't get like stabbed hundreds of thousands of times. He took one arrow.
He got stabbed twice.
Frodo got stabbed. The Hobbit, the original Hobbit, got stabbed and survived. So why wouldn't an elf be able to get stabbed and survive? It's not like completely outside the realm of reality. Come on, let's not like act like these elves live thousands of years. Elrond is around for fellowship all the way through the desolation of Smaug. These motherfuckers, you think they don't have no boo-boos? You don't think they have no you think they got any stab wounds? Of course, over the course of thousands of years, they done fell off cliffs, been stabbed, shot with arrows, all kind of shit. They have all kind of healing elixirs and shit. Remember when they was going through the woods with Frodo and with Aragorn, and she was like, king spoil, that's a weed. You know what I'm saying? Oh, find it. You know what I'm saying? And then the freaking and she had, Frodo, please, we just have to make it to Elendil. And all of this shit these magical elves got, and you think that some arrow or some freaking dagger is gonna stop a soldier like Erendir? Y'all should have never doubted this man. I told you he was still alive.
So hold on. Our whole quarrel is okay. So the whole battle at Eregion, the war at Eregion, you get to see so many different motherfucking elves just get arrowed down, like just die. We
don't know if they're dead. At the end of it, we saw a whole bunch of.
You don't know if they're dead.
Everybody
on the battlefield.
Yo, you tripping.
We don't know that everybody.
That's where our quarrel is at, though. Okay, so some of them are like, super powered and fucking strong. You know what I'm saying? And then the ring makes you even stronger. But then some of them are just like, they're like, human. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, I got an arrow. I'm dead. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, all right, the archer that was in the season 1 that went into the cave with Galadriel and like found that Morgoth was still alive. All right, she took 5 arrows, 6 actually, to finally kill her, dog. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But the other ones are taking 1 arrow and they're down. So this is where Bad Ty and I are like, we're watching and we're like the mathing the fuck up. That's all I have to say about that. All right, it's just like
they didn't have their plot armor on.
I guess that's a good. There you go. I like that. Okay. All right. So some of them got stronger armor, some of them don't. Right. See, that's an almost legitimate answer. I will take that and run with it. Okay. But let me get back to this breakdown because I'm almost fucking done. The best part for me of this episode was I fucking told y'all so. Elrond put the fucking ring on.
Yeah. We knew that shit. Yeah, we saw that.
That was and then he created this whole area where the elves are all like, you know what I'm saying, like hidden and shit. And then we got to see the leaders of the town, the infamous 4. This episode had a lot. Like it was, it was touching. And then when the dwarves came to save everyone at Eregion, the High King was dwarves.
Yeah.
That dude had me dying. I had to pause. I was fucking losing my mind. He said, dwarves. Like he got so excited about that shit. It was fucking, and then the like, that was beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. This episode was hands down super cool. I think the best though was finding out that our Istar is actually Gandalf and him saving Nori. I know, Bad Ty, you're shaking your head. You were right. I know.
It was so obvious, but it was like they were trying to make it so like the directors were trying to convince us that it wasn't Gandalf all the time. Like we was but I think we said this in season 1. Yep. In season 1, when he appeared, like we were like, "Oh, that's Gandalf." No, his name's Ishtar. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah,
he had to find himself in his name. All right, like we got his journey. It was beautiful. Then because him and Nori, he was like, Nori, you gotta grow up too. I gotta let her go, even though I don't want to. And that decision ultimately, that's how he got his staff. You know what I'm saying? Being there for his friend and letting her go, and you know what I'm saying, like finding his own on his own. It was a beautiful, beautiful journey between the two, and it was heartfelt because of the way she just was like, I gotta go find my own path.
Yeah, I feel like she broke up with him. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like she kind of did. She was like, listen, I've been following your ass, trying to help you with your shit for so long. We did all this shit. I've been kidnapped. I've almost died. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about the shit that happened to Nori and Poppy. Poppy found love. What does Nori got? You know what I'm saying? Like, she did all this shit. What does Nori got? She got a friend that's in love, another friend that's on a fucking quest that she's done going on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got him where he needed to. She's like, yo, bro, I'm gonna go home now because I don't even know where home is because these motherfuckers moved. So I gotta go find that. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's on her own quest to help the stewards. They lost everything. So the survivors of the stewards, they're trying to, you know, migrate for the first time. And she's gonna be on this journey to lead them, you know what I'm saying, to migration and kind of, you know, show them how her people, you know what I'm saying, basically keep migrating to stay alive. And they have maps and trails. So it was beautiful. Like, you know, she was kind of saying, like, you know, it's time for each of us to grow up. We don't need each other anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go and I can go and we're gonna be okay. We have grown so much together. It's time we grow apart. It was beautiful the way she said it, and she did it in so many words too. She was like, "It's time for me to go," and then she did the look back. Yeah, and then guess what? He was all like sad, and then look what the fuck he found. Yo, motherfucking staff, nigga. It was really, really cool. I'm not gonna lie. And then where did he go after he found his staff? Tom's house, and they were singing. I'm just saying that is like his song. Tom Bombadil's song is adorable. I want to get that.
Do you remember how it goes? Do you remember how the song goes?
I don't. I wish I would have wrote it down because it is adorable. All I know is he wears yellow and he's got yellow boots or something like that. Like I don't know. He wears blue and yellow. That's all I remember.
Yeah, we definitely need to get the song.
It's adorable though. But yeah, that season finale was a wrap, and it was Rings of Power season 2. If you haven't seen it, get your ass up, go over to Amazon Prime, subscribe, buy, however you need to watch that shit. Borrow it from a friend because I'm telling you, you are missing out on some epic shit. You don't even have to watch the Rings of like the normal trilogy of, you know, Lord of the Rings to even start watching it. But this preview and this trilogy that's starting right now, basically with these seasons, is going to get you geared up for watching Lord of the Rings. So if you haven't seen them, go over and start watching it, because I'm telling you, just because you don't know all the characters and how they're significant, it will get you so entwined with these characters that you'll go and fall in love with the Lord of the Rings. I guarantee it.
This has been a Yaz breakdown, and I'm still working on the sound for it, but it was yo, I think she covered. Thank you so much, Yaz. That was very informative. I think those who did not get a chance to watch are probably up to date now. Did we go over? Did we miss everything? There's a couple questions that I have. Like, one question is, at the end, if we can just establish what was decided between the Queen and oh boy, I forget his name. But you saw him riding off into the sunset. You saw the Queen in handcuffs, and but
did you see the sword? Did you see the sword that he had?
Sword. That's what I was gonna say. So she gave him her family sword, like, you know what I'm saying, like that like makes them leaders of that Numenor. You know what I mean? Like her dad, that's her lineage sword right there. So she gave it to him so that way he can go on and be the king. Once if something happens to her, you know what I'm saying, or he can take the Numenor back and put it back to its righteous, you know, way, because they fell the fuck off real hard when Faison took over.
But more importantly, that sword is the same sword that Aragorn winds up with.
But okay,
that's the one that he gets, and it's the one that cuts the ring off of Sauron's hand.
So Isildur.
It's his son. Isildur is his son.
Isildur uses to cut off his finger, but it's broken at first, right? And then they have it on display when they go back to Gondor, and then they forge it back together so that he can fight him again in the Return of the King.
And remember who has that sword? Elrond. Elrond has that sword. When he needs it forged, he has to go back to Elrond to get it forged. They had the sword. Yeah.
All right, so here's my question. I thought that the Queen was exonerated because of the beast that that she went and saw underwater. A sister can't get a break in like, this is America in Middle Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, she still got locked up even though she was acquitted. You know what I'm saying? Like,
she's still a minority in her own city.
I was gonna say she is, but they did tell us why. So they said the reason why that trial went the way she was is because Sauron used his power. She was aligned with Sauron. He used his powers to convince the Valar that she was fucking innocent, and that's why she became innocent in that trial. So he basically like forged some kind of note or something like that between her and Sauron, and then basically declared that anybody in connection with her is treacherous.
So,
but Sauron is really working with that dude, and they're framing her though, right?
I believe so. Yeah, like Farazan, I think so, because honestly, like if you saw when he put his hand on the Palantir, you got to see, you know what I'm saying, like Sauron basically take over Numenor, and like after that is when he like started freaking out, and then that whole declaration got made. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you kind of see his face a little bit, kind of like I don't know. He went from like looking normal to like looking hella scared and just like evil and maniacal. Like if he didn't do this, basically, like he thinks he's saving the town, but obviously he's not. So I'm not really sure if he's in line with Sauron. Like his son might be.
I don't think either of them are aligned with Sauron. They just use the same crystal ball or with the Palantir, what you called it, that eye, which basically can see futures. It's like it can see different futures. So that, like when he saw that, he realized in that moment that Halbrand is Sauron because he saw Halbrand's face, and that so he knows this. But I don't think he's necessarily aligned with Sauron. They're just evil on their own account, on their own accord. They're just, him and his son are just assholes. So like I don't necessarily think he's aligned with Sauron. Everybody knows it for the most part that Sauron is the worst kind of evil. Everybody knows that. With the orcs things is they don't really have a lot of backbone, and so like whoever shows power usually can control the orcs in that regard. That's why Adar, tried to make it seem like y'all are my children, but he also knew that they would succumb to whoever was kind of stepped up and showed that they were a little stronger than the others. So when you start to see all of the things that is happening, the son and what's the king's name? Farazan. Farazan is just one of those people that will never give up because he feels like he's entitled to the crown. So no matter what happened with the queen, he was always going to find a way around it. You could tell that's just how he moves. And for whatever reason, he's been able to take over the soldiers in Numenor and control them, which whoever controls the soldiers controls Numenor. Yep. So I don't know. No, the soldiers in Numenor, the actual army.
So
he controls the army.
Yeah.
So anytime something comes up, then he uses that power that he has over the army to basically, put in martial law in effect. Like now martial law is in effect. So everybody who supported the queen, I'm gonna lock y'all up because y'all are the only ones that really encourage her power. And you know what I'm saying? Like y'all are the ones that are like, she did the test of the Valar and they found her, they deemed her innocent. And he's like, nah, I got paperwork. Yep. I pulled out the paperwork and I got the paperwork and it says that she was over here talking to Sauron last week. I got the phone records, all of that, and this is what it is. And so that's ultimately how he was able to kind of sustain rule, if you want to put it that way.
And also,
go
ahead.
I
was gonna say also, like he's her cousin too, and he's the only, I'm saying, like that they're related. So, and he's the only male heir, technically speaking, after her father died. So that's how basically he came into power. Was the elders were like, "You're the only male. We'll all stand by you because you're the only male." And they were saying that she was using the Palantir like Muriel was, Queen Muriel, and that's like she was basically ruining Numenor, and that's how they like basically dethroned her. So the council was already
Go ahead. My bad.
I'll say the council was already on, like, his side with taking over Muriel, but they just didn't want, like her to, change things. And I don't really know why they dethroned her, just because she's a woman, mostly. Like,
well, they dethroned her because the whole thing with the humans is in Numenor is that they don't trust the elves. The planter is an elven artifact or thing. So when she was found using it, then he used that against her by saying she has allegiances with the elves, like she's allowing the elves to control her decision making in the thing, and that's what he keeps on using these outside entities to kind of undermine her rule, and that's what it all came.
I got you.
And also, isn't like the use of that ball, like the magic, like she said that she wasn't using that ball, and that ball is the crystal ball thing, and like it was like sacred.
She never said she wasn't. She absolutely she absolutely admitted she used it.
Right.
She's never said she wasn't.
Well, wasn't that one of the main reasons they tried to throw her out, because they like the girl had came out was like, oh, she's using the ball and blah, blah, and you know what I'm saying, everybody was like, oh, I thought you said you weren't using the ball. Didn't they have that?
Nah.
That's how they took her crown the first time. So when it started, she was the queen, and then they was like, oh, you're using the Palantir though, and then they were like, oh, well then you can't be queen. And then the eagle showed up, and he was like, all right, well not only did we catch you using the Palantir, but the eagle is showing up when I'm questioning you, so it's a sign from the gods or whatever.
Right.
I don't think she's evil though. I don't think she's aligned with Sauron. That's my whole thing. I think that she was using it. She probably got exposed to his power, but I don't think that she actually really aligned with the dude.
But she listened to it, right? I mean, she wasn't.
She heard what it was capable of, and she was using it to kind of like maneuver and navigate how to move forward, but I don't think she really fully succumbed to it. I think her blindness is probably her biggest strength right now, because I think it's given her like an ability to not be corrupted by it. Like Farazan's using it, and he sees Halbrand. He starts he took the throne back, even though that she was deemed queen again, and that aligns more with what Sauron is trying to do, right? Like he's trying to get the 9, and he's trying to find soldiers. I don't think she was going to work with him personally.
And more importantly, I don't know that is the same. So okay, so in the Lord of the Rings movies, there is a black Palantir which is called the Eye of Sauron. That is the one that you see in the Lord of the Rings movies, which is a black ball, by the way, and this Palantir is a turquoise or blue ball. So it's not that Sauron is connected to that particular Palantir. It is just an elven artifact. The thing is, it sees futures. It sees possibilities. That's what possibilities and futures. So she was using it to basically make decisions on how Numenor needed to move.
Right.
And the problem with that is Numenor is a religious city that has their own belief system. The Valar are who they are, the gods that they worship. So they're faith-based people. So because of them being faith-based people, if they believe in the Valar and you don't, then you can't represent us as a nation, because our nation and our values is that of, we believe in the Valar. Those are our gods. What you're trusting in is the magic of elves, which we don't trust the elves. So therefore, that's why she was dethroned in the first place, is because of that reason, is the fact that she was using an elven artifact that sees the future to navigate Numenor's track. And that's why they were like, no. If you're using this, we definitely can't trust you. You don't believe in the Valar, you can't be our queen. And that was why when that eagle came, that was part of their faith-based values, that they were like, oh, that whatever that bird is, that is part, the Valar has spoken or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So this is all just to clear up everything. That is why Muriel continues to get dethroned, is because he's using the faith to against her. And then what he did this time was he said, okay, since y'all use the faith against me, I'm going to get rid of the faith by getting rid of the people who believe in it the most, and making sure that now the only thing that rules this town is my iron fist. And he because he's using the planter too now. And that's what this is. They like that connection to Sauron. I just want to be clear with that, is not that ball. it's like that. Like Sauron, I don't know when if he's going to get that ball, it's going to change or whatever. But we know that the one in the Lord of the Rings is black, and that one is turquoise.
There's multiple of them though. These things are like
that's what I was thinking.
They're like
because
phones.
Disa found one for her daughter, remember, in the mountain, and that's how she found out Balrog was in there. So you know what I'm saying?
So like I think the elves have one. Saruman had one in the Lord of the Rings movies. I think there's multiple Plantiers everywhere, and they're hinting that Sauron has one. We don't know for sure if he has one, but they're hinting that he has one. And that's why, like in the movies, you see the red one that the eye of Sauron, kind of like that he had on the top of Mount Doom, where his eye was. That's why you kept seeing it that way. I think the reason it's blue now is because he hasn't taken on that form. He's not in his final form yet, and he doesn't have that much power. Like he's really, really powerful, but when he gets the one ring, he it's like he's levels above where he is now. So I think he has one, and he's actually talking to Farazan, and he's like telling him how to navigate and how to make sure that Muriel doesn't keep power, because I think he tried to tempt her, she shut his ass down, and now he finds Farazan is the next best bet because he still wants to take over men, right? Like that's why he was going so hard to get the 9. Like, yo, I suspect Farazan is going to turn into one of the 9.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because like remember, so and now that Isildur is, you know what I'm saying, coming back into civilization and trying to get back to Numenor, basically, and that whole relationship with that girl, is it gonna happen, is it not type stuff. I don't remember her name because that was I don't even know what happened with all that. But basically, you know what I'm saying, like we got to see Farazan's son, that motherfucker with that punchable face. We got to see him basically in Isildur kind of, you know, they realize who each other are in town, and then he switches shit up real quick after he was like, you got room for one more, and then he was like, oh well, my daddy's the king now, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and then he started showing his ass, and then he was like, everything the queen had that we were going to, you know what I'm saying, alliance with you guys, we're changing all that shit up right now. So my father's turning this basically into, and he said it, they're turning it into like a war post. So Farazan, they're definitely leading into Farazan maybe becoming definitely part of the 9 there, because he's already, you know what I'm saying, starting to war post around, like, you know what I'm saying, all the towns around Numenor, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And his son now is the war general, so even more so, you know what I'm saying, he's definitely, he may get a ring or may not, or take daddy's ring when he dies, you know what I'm saying. So they definitely are setting that up for sure, because them fucking maniacal motherfuckers are they're gonna be important. I'm telling you, that punchable face, we're gonna see it again. I'm telling you.
Look, a couple things. Go ahead, Ty. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I feel like the way that everything is kind of set up, and now that we know that the Ishtar is Gandalf, who we thought he was, I'm almost certain that the Dark Wizard is Saruman. I'm almost certain that he is. I said it before, and then I was like, oh no, it's the Dark Wizard. I'm like, okay, now we know. Now we know that they do that. They just give them different names until their real names are kind of. But there's everything leads you to believe that that's Saruman. Saruman had a 2-tone beard. Like it's like well, you know, you put this guy in. He had a 2-tone beard as well. He was his was all hair, white hair with a black beard with white in it. Yeah, he was his 2-tone as well.
There's 2 things that make me believe that this Dark Wizard is not Saruman. Number one, obviously Saruman looks much different. You know what I'm saying? He was, you know, full hair of white. You know what I'm saying? Dude, older. Also, Saruman was heralded not as the Dark Wizard, but as one of the wisest wizards of the council. Like before there was a switch, before there was Sauron came back to around the 2 towers where Saruman was like, Gandalf left the Shire to go seek counsel from Saruman because he was a wise wizard. He was not some dark lord. So that's the only thing that makes me kind of second guess the possibility that this is Saruman. Although I get why those breadcrumbs, since we know that Gandalf is now who he is. Then obviously the next thing would be like, okay, well obviously this is Saruman, you know. But I just have reservations.
I've always said he was Saruman, but I think that the reason you're saying that is obviously because you're talking future a future representation of him, and I'm talking about the present representation of him. One of the things that they also spoke about was that Saruman was one of the people that helped to defeat Sauron. So when they had their conversation, he was all about defeating Sauron, but he was about it for different reasons. He was about it because he ultimately wanted to take over and be Sauron. And when you get to Lord of the Rings, Saruman is literally doing that. He's building an orc army because he's trying to at that point help Sauron to come back. But it just everything aligns, and it kind of seems as though that this version that you're getting as a Dark Wizard everybody has that kind of growth story, right? Everybody has that story of where you started and where you end up. And I think that the Dark Wizard may have started as a Dark Wizard, but also Tom Bombadil did not say that he shouldn't talk to the Dark Wizard. If anything, he said, I trained the Dark Wizard. So that's what I'm saying. Like there is definitely something going on there, and now that we see how the director is masking these individuals in essence, it kind of does feel like that Sauron. We'll probably find out next season 2 or 3 years from now, but we'll figure it out.
So I have one question for you guys.
Please.
Okay, so when the Dark Wizard came onto the screen, right, and he was he was confronting the Istar, in the Stewart's home. I'm not gonna lie, I had to pause for a second because he honestly reminded me of the Wicked Witch from Snow White with the
yeah.
Like I was like, where's his apple? Oh my god! Like he showed up and like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's dark, everyone's hiding, and he's like, come on out. We're kin. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, this is fucking Snow White shit right here. Like I was dying laughing.
Yeah, there was some crazy about it, but it was also kind of weird because he was like trying to be the hero and the villain at the same time. Like, yeah, I'm the Dark Wizard, but but so what? No big deal. You know what I'm saying? We're all friends, right? You know what I'm saying?
He said people giving him a bad rap is what he said. Right. He said they called me that, they named me that. I didn't name myself Dark Wizard. He said that's what the people have kind of, the stories that have been made about me is now, he's like, I'm not that guy. I'm here to help you fight Sauron. That I know we both know how evil Sauron is. We got to defeat him. He's like, well, why do you want to defeat him? Do you want to become him? Well, I mean, somebody's got to do the job. I mean, I'm just saying, why should it be us?
It reminds me of when Granddad on Boondocks was like, man, we had dogs. They were shooting water hoses at us, and it was like, did they shoot you with water hoses? He was like, well, I don't know, they got anything to do. He was like, wait a minute. It's like, yeah, they were shooting everybody, but so I mean, yeah, I might want to help y'all, overthrow this dark guy, but so what? I may want his powers, then I may rule the world after that. But big deal, we both on the same team now, right? Like that's kind of what I got. Couple things, and then we want to go ahead and move on because we definitely could spend all day talking about Rings of Power because it was really dope. And this season, oddly enough, which is very odd in our day and age, the sequel, I believe, may have been better than the first season, which is very hard to find in our world of content. But I want to just note a few things that I thought were extremely noteworthy. One time for the Dwarf King, this motherfucker went out like a whole G. This dude went head to head with Balrog. My nigga jumped off the goddamn cliff. I'm just gonna jump off the cliff toward Balrog. You know what I'm saying? Like an endless shadow-dwelling demon that has a whip made out of lava. And I'm just gonna jump off with a little axe. And yeah, you go ahead, you take the whole king shit. I'm out. One time for him, that shit was epic as hell, even though I do kind of think that, man, somebody should have stopped that man from jumping off because he was probably having a dementia episode real quick, thinking he was stronger than he actually was. Second off, one time for Isildur and his home-breaking ass, like he literally is breaking up this woman's relationship. She is torn between him and her actual betrothed, but he is not doing her any favors by getting all up in her face, looking her all in the eye. Her man is right there, my nigga. Like he's literally right there. It was one thing when y'all was riding on the road, y'all didn't know if you was going to live or die. The nigga is right there. He's like right behind her, and he's still like, ugh. looking her all in the eye, getting all close to the face. Bitch, you got a whole man. Calm your ass down.
Is she torn?
He's in the room. He's in the room.
She ain't torn.
She not torn.
Yeah, torn.
You don't seem torn to me.
He's not torn. She said, I don't love him. That's what she said. She said he built the stone, told us that as long as the stone that our love will, keep this house, you know what I'm saying? Like keep this house for us, like with our love. That house ain't gonna be built because she don't love him.
I don't know. This
Yo, Vinny, like you totally disregarding the fact that Isildur asked Keeman if there was room on the boat for one. He didn't say two.
Right.
He said one, and it was the girl. And then the dude was like, "Hold up, what about me?" And walked up. He was like, "Look," and they was both looking at him like,
like, what about you?
Nah, I think they changed it, Anthony, in the end. I think at first it was one, and then the dude showed up, and he was like, didn't he say them? I think he was welcoming both of them onto the boat.
Nah.
What are you watching?
There's only room for us two.
Like we don't have enough room.
He was like,
You can't
We don't have
come.
enough room, and these people look hungry. We should kill your horse and feed them.
So he was offering up his wife, like it's like volunteer for tribute. Like what the fuck? Like she was about to go. I mean, I know they ain't married yet, but
No,
Bruh,
he was
are they
trying
related?
You missed
trying to
it.
say-
You missed.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
No,
I was just gonna say, you're missing it. Isildur asked, and I can't think of her name right now. He asked her if she wanted to go to Numenor with him, right?
Yep.
right.
She basically agreed. So when he saw Keeman, he was like, "Oh, Keeman, oh my man," not knowing your man, what your man been up to. He's like, "I'm so happy to see you." He's like, "Oh, we didn't know you was alive. We thought you was dead." Oh man. He's like, I can't wait to see my father. He was like, "Yo, your father's a traitor, and my father's the king." And he was like, "Well, he looked at Shorty. He was like, "Yo, you got room for us?" He was like, "Yeah, of course I got room for y'all." The problem was nobody told her ex that he was an ex. So he was like, when he saw him saying, "Y'all room for one," he was like, "Don't you mean two?" And walked up like and came up like this and stood there, and everybody gave him that awkward look, like
Yes,
this
they did.
he did not get the memo yet. So
And then he got the memo, and then he tried to hold her hand, and
You
she was
gotta hold
like,
her hand. You saw that?
No. That was after. That was actually
I
after.
know.
That was actually after Isildur got on the boat and was leaving. He basically held her hand because at that point he's like, "All you got is me. So you better." He said, "This is it. I mean, your boo is gone, so we can get back to things like usual, how things were." So I get that, but it was such an awkward moment because he was like, "Yo, they was happy." He was like, "At least I got my girl." Well, he's still doing her. Her was happy. The X-Man was like, "I don't want to be an X-Man." Like I was like, "Yo, I'm saying I don't want to be an X-Man." Like
she was just gonna leave and not tell him and have him figure out that she was gone. You know what I mean? But then all that shit happened at the docks, and then it got real awkward, and then she had to have like a real a close encounter with her decision, and without so many words saying, her man kind of realized he was a side man.
And he was okay with that. That was the part. He was okay with that. He was like,
okay
"What y'all don't know is I'm okay being the side dude, long as I don't be hungry. I'm not staying here with them. Ain't no food." And they want us to cut trees.
Y'all going to Numenor where they got water in the house? Let me get
they got water. They got food. Look, y'all want us to cut down trees. Little do y'all know these ain't trees. I'm not trying to stay here. I'm literally willing to play the side piece as long as I can ride with y'all. Like that's all he was saying without saying it. He was look.
It reminds me of Ludacris had this CD called Word of Mouth back in the day, and there was a skit on this. There was a skit on it where like Luda was talking to this girl, and like her man busted in the room, was like, "Hey, bitch, who the fuck you talking to?" She said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, man. Give me the phone. Man, who was just talking to my girl?" He's like, "My bad, dog." He's like, "Hold up, is this Ludacris?" Oh my God, my girl, fucking Luda. He's like, my bad, man. You know you fucking Luda. You know what I'm saying? Here you go. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. My girl, fucking Luda. Like, I feel like that's what's happening right now. Like, he's like, oh shit, all right. Like, if you take this royal dick, then we all eat, right? Like that's the sacrifice. That's how the plot is going to work for us. Like, it's one benefit, one sacrifice for the benefit of the whole. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. Because it does reek. He's giving Drake, Mr. Take Your Girl type shit. Like, yo, I'm going ahead, I'm gonna bring her back. We're gonna shower her with gifts and shit. And dude's like, I ain't got none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And when a rich nigga wants you, and then your nigga can't do nothing for you, well, these hoes ain't loyal. You know what I'm saying? It looked like
her man had lover boy vibes. He was like, I just want to be the side. That's all I want to be. I just
want to eat. He say, look, how much do I get? What is my salary for accepting this role of side man? And I think everybody's happy with that. So those two things stood out to me. Him breaking up a relationship and not even caring about it, and the old elf being so sacrificial and basically making our new dwarf, not elf, but our dwarf hero into the king, which I also thought it was fascinating that he showed that the dwarves showed up and they were like, oh, the dwarves. Even after the king was like, oh, they ain't coming, right? It was like, oh shit, that's right, dwarves. So that was cool too. Last thing, I also thought that it was interesting that Sauron tried to pull a thought move real quick and turn into boy band Hallandale right before he did y'all know that? Oh, but it's me. You don't want to kill me, do you, Galadriel? It's me. Hallandale of NSYNC. Like his voice, the doughy eyes. I thought that was really funny, man. But definitely, man, the Lord of the Rings, this project came through. Can't nobody deny that this shit was all that. I don't even think we're done unpacking it, but we got to stop today because we got more things to talk about. And like I said in the beginning, man, one of the few shows that actually has a better second season than the first. So kudos to Rings of Power for that. But since we are still in some first seasons, one of these seasons shows that we're watching right now as well in the realm of DC is Penguin. I'm assuming you all got a chance to watch the Penguin. This most recent episode, a little different from the one. And I ain't gonna lie. After this last episode, bro, I was like, okay, I want to watch the whole series now. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, I just want to watch the whole series. The characters in this story are so riveting. Sophia Falcone, freaking even his little sidekick that stutters. Everybody is just so sick. Like I just want to go over. I mean, this happens. Unfortunately, these air on Sundays. So what it is that happened in this episode? Basically, Sophia Carmine is she's the gift that keeps on giving because she's the only one who's pretty much figured out that the Penguin is the problem until the end of the episode. But what I can't figure out is Sophia really under the impression that her brother was. Oh, real quick, spoilers for those who haven't seen Penguin. We will be going into the spoilers. By the way, you should have been seeing it. It's been 7 days. All right, it comes on Sundays, so it's your fault. All right, do we really believe that Sophia actually thinks that Penguin did not do what he did to the Carmine? I believe that she's smarter than that.
Oh yeah,
and that she knows everything, but is playing the role of stupid so that she can acquire what she's looking for. You feel the same way, Anthony?
Yeah, I think this is all a good setup. Like she's smart enough to think 3 steps ahead, and she's been showing that all throughout the episode. She's like, yo, you guys are really believing this fool? Like, why is he just walking out of here alive? Like,
right.
And she knows her brother well enough to know that, he wasn't going to go out in a simple way. Like, he went out on a bender, but he seems like the type, like, he would stay in touch with his sister, right? Like, he's not going to fall out of touch with her. I feel like that she's in a position kind of like with a lot of women are when they become, close to attaining power. It's just that, it's a male dominated world. She should be the head of the Falcone family, but they're sitting at her, looking at her like, you kind of crazy and you're a woman. So they're just going to try to marginalize her ability to have influence. Overall, I agree with you. She is thinking 3 steps ahead. I do think that she's setting the Penguin up, or at least she's going to try to set the Penguin up. I'm excited to see how they move forward with this, because they're borrowing, like me as a big comic book head, all I'm seeing are all the little breadcrumbs they're borrowing from the comics and putting into the show, right? Like, for anybody who's interested into where some of this story comes from, I think there was this movie by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale called The Long Halloween. And all it is about the Falcone family, and it's like in Batman's first or second year of being Batman, and him trying to overcome the gangs of Gotham. We're seeing like how the Falcone and the what's that family name? The ones that's in jail. They begin the
Sal Maroni,
something like that. The Maronis, yeah. How they go to war and then they come into power. I would love if they don't bring Batman into this. I would love if they bring Catwoman into this, because she would be a big part of that story.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you mean Zoe Kravitz?
Yeah, because in the comics, she's like she's heavy in this story. She's a big part of this story. Like she's like she lives in Crime Alley, and she has like a little sidekick, blonde-haired girl that is like almost like her version of Robin. So like she gets busy, she gets dirty in that comic.
Okay. So I'm so glad that you're into the comics. I didn't read any of these comics. I'm a Spider-Man comic guy, but could you kind of like tell us what are some of the things that you see that are relating to the comics? And also, what is it doing the comics justice with regard to plot lines and stuff like that?
So the things that they are borrowing from the comics are the gang wars, right? The Maronis, the Falcones, they have a big open gang war, and it gets crazy because, you know, most of the time gang wars in Gotham, they do their stuff in secret, or at least they try to pretend like they're not going to do stuff in plain sight. In the Long Halloween, stuff starts spilling into the streets during the day. I'm hoping they introduced this thing called the Holiday Killer. So it was like a big story about how certain people kept getting murdered on specific holidays. They already kind of adapted that into the Batman movie, but they could absolutely build on that here and start to go into the advancement and growth of Sophia Falcone into that type of character. Like she seems like she's got like a whole other side that we haven't really fully explored, right? Like we've seen a little bit about her. We know that she's, you know, a killer. We know that she was in Arkham Asylum, but you got to understand, you got to be a certain type of killer,
right,
to get into Arkham Asylum. Like the Joker is there, right? Like
right,
she's
right.
like, so she's on another level, and we're just starting to see shades of her now. Now that she's somehow gotten out, we still don't even know how she got out.
Well, they said that she was there was on the radio, there was a quick tidbit that said that she was exonerated.
Yeah, she was exonerated for her all of her seven murders. Yeah,
only the 7 that they know. They said
of women. Of women.
Yeah, that they know of. Yes.
So Anthony, tell us more about the Hangman's depiction in the comic.
Was the Calendar Man. So one thing is that it was a combination of the Calendar Man and the Holiday Killer. So the way that they depicted the character was that he was just committing all these murders on specific holidays for like a year, 2 years, whatever. And Batman just couldn't figure out what, like, he was still new at being a detective. He wasn't that smart yet. So like when he was getting all these clues, he just couldn't put it together. Eventually you find out that I don't want to spoil that in case this turns into the show, but eventually it does reveal who the person is, and it's someone that you least suspect. What I hope that they do is they bring in Selena Kyle, because in that comic, I think she played like she was a prostitute or something, and she had like a little younger girl that was a prostitute, but then she started to like really want to grow outside of her situation and start working for the crime families. But in the same breath, she started playing both sides. Like this to me would be a great opportunity for her to align herself with Sophia Falcone and then really try to take over. Like that's the direction I'm hoping they go with it.
I get the sense, y'all, that they're not going that direction. I feel like they're trying very carefully to stay clear of too many external characters. Like they alluded to the Riddler a tiny bit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They gave us a little bit of Hangman, but they're being very careful to not bring in. This is not Gotham on Fox, you know what I'm saying, where it's every Batman villain being brought to life and they all have a role to play. I feel like they're being very strategic about maintaining the focus of Penguin Tide. I think that they seem to be doing a fairly decent job. What you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to kind of go to Anthony's point, the Eve Carlo character, it seems like they might blend that, what you were just talking about. They may use her because, you know, she based off what we saw in the last episode, we know that she is either a prostitute or escort, whatever you want to call it. But she does have a team of girls that work for her. That work for her, and the young girl that may have been talking to Victor. I think that's his name, Victor.
Victor is his name.
Yeah, Victor. Yeah, she could be that understudy that you're talking about. That could be that the character, and that could be a way that they blend that in. I know Eve Carlo has her own character within the DC universe.
Who's Victor? Who's Victor?
His Penguin sidekick.
Do y'all remember remember Victor in the WB in the CW universe was the ball guy, Cyborg. The killer guy. No, not Cyborg. No, he was a white dude.
No. In Gotham, Victor was the ball-headed psycho dude.
Right.
I wonder if he's a killer.
Yeah, I wonder if you know what I'm saying.
It could be. It could very well be. So there is some ties into that. But I love the way the story is kind of unfolding. I also believe that Sophia is in the same situation as Sauron. She has the capability. She just doesn't have the manpower. Right. And so that's why she's where she's at. So what she's done is she's made the decision to manipulate Penguin into getting her to a point where she can have or afford that manpower, because he's giving her the opportunity to raise her value by selling these drugs, and then thereby creating a way for her to purchase manpower, because that's how things work in Gotham and in the streets. If you want to go to war with somebody, you have to have the means, and the only way to have the means is to have the money, basically. So right now, that's what she's doing. She's manipulating Penguin into working with him so she can make this money. But I think that was his plan as well. So it's like I said before, I think when it comes to masters of manipulation, we have Sauron, we have the Penguin, we have Sophia Falcone, we have all of these interesting characters that are now like in positions to show you how they come to be. And Sophia is my favorite character by far. Like, she's so interesting. Her facial expressions, the way she acts is acting 101. Like the stuff that she's doing is marvelous to watch. And of course you can't say enough about the Penguin. But his mom also is killing the game. She's killing the game right now. And every depiction we've ever seen the Penguin in, the mother stays consistent. Like, there's always this mom that's like, that kind of does this passive aggression thing with him, and makes him feel like he's never enough, but also knows that he like tells him, like, you're capable of great things. You know what I'm saying? You just have to do it. You just have to do it. This mom is like, she's giving me Jersey mom. She's giving me like, look, like my boys don't cry. I didn't raise no, that's what she's giving. Yeah, I didn't raise no, what she called him? Pussy boy. Pussy boy. I was like, no, she didn't. But yo, I'm loving it, man. Like, this show is really, you was right. You called it. Like, this is great writing, great acting. This is what we wanted, man. And I'm with you. I want to see this whole thing. I want to watch the whole series and just crash out and be like, oh my gosh, what did I just watch?
Yeah. Also, I really like the fact that the Penguin is not he's not omniscient. he does not know everything. The like I love when he was told by I forget the boss name, I forget, but he was like, yeah, this is your operation. You're in the car. And he's like, all right, I guess I'll get in the goddamn car. And then they start shooting at the shit, obviously, and then old boy comes, he's like, I got the drops right here. He's like, you fucking traitor. And he shoots him. He's like, what the fuck? Like, he doesn't know what's going on. Like, in that moment, he's like, I don't know what the fuck to do right now. You know what I'm saying? I love that he, like, weasels his way out of a lot of these situations, that it's not some mastermind genius like Batman or the Joker where everything is thought of 3 steps in advance. He's just trying to get the shit done. He's fumbling through it. And I love that about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes me kind of, like, really geeked about the direction of this show. And there is kind of like there's like a mystery element of it to an extent. Even though we know Penguin is who he is, we're also trying to figure out, like, how is he going to, because we kind of know the end of this. We know Penguin ends up being like big time mob boss, right? But what we don't know is how he gets there. And so what we're learning is that he literally is stumbling his way to the top, as opposed to being some dope, oh so powerful Michael Corleone. That's not who he is. He's just a stumbler. What is it? The Eve thing is a little weird to me. Are they in a relationship for real? Because I thought it was some bullshit. I was like, oh, they're really a couple. You know, and then he brought these girls to the house, and you know what I'm saying? Like, one of the girls like, oh yeah, I do the fetish stuff, you know.
She's a cam girl.
I'm a cam girl. Like, you can't afford me, you know.
And she's like, and I do stuff with cake. Like, like, bitch, what do you do with the cake?
Yeah, what the hell are you doing with the cake? But you know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
So many questions.
You have to subscribe. You have to subscribe if you want to know what she does with the cake.
I don't want to subscribe. But
you gotta be a member.
Gotta be a member only. Members only.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I honestly, this is my favorite. This show right now will probably be my favorite for the next until it's over. It's just so gritty, so raw, so believable, you know. And you can't say enough about Colin Farrell and the prosthetic mask that he has on, and his ability to change that accent and like to give us basically a Tony Soprano version of a Penguin. So I think we can definitely look forward to the rest of this. Anybody got anything else to say on this? Because we can go ahead and move on.
Just on the Eve aspect, like they're not in a relationship per se, but when your client relationship with your client has exceeded a certain amount of time, then you develop certain things, because at the end of all of what we saw, you also saw him hand her a wad of money, and she was like, oh, this is too much. And he was like, don't worry about it, babe. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it. There's still a business arrangement between them, but it's more like, I've been your client for so long, you know what I mean? Like, and you develop some type of client relationships, and that's what it kind of is, because she was like, look, don't get me and my girls caught up in your bullshit. Like, that's not, you know what I mean? Like that's not what I signed up for. Yeah, I'll hold you down, but if it comes down to me and my girls, I might have to. He's like, no, don't worry about it, girl. I got this. I got all of this. You know what I'm saying? Give me a kiss. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, she kissed him.
Like, yeah, sensual kiss. Like, that's where I got fucked up. Like, it felt like, you know, like DJ Hustle and Flow type shit. You know what I'm saying? But then it got a little serious. So I just was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. And can I give one prediction before we move on real quick?
Yeah.
All right, so I would like to make a bold prediction, if I could be honest. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and give this to Cam so we can go ahead and. So here's what's going to happen in the Penguin, and I was already right. We were already right about what happened with some of our predictions, but I believe that what's going to happen is it's going to come down to Sophia having to blackmail Oz, the Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot, using his mom. We saw in this most recent episode, there was a tell.
Yes. Yes.
Penguin said, my mom is dead.
Dead.
He did.
And Sophia, I don't know if you caught it, but she was kind of like, And so I believe that the plot will start to lean into the conflict between Penguin having to keep him and his family, meaning his mom, safe, and also trying to get through the crisis that he's put himself through by shooting Carmine's son. And I think that it's going to come to the point where Sophia has Penguin's mom held hostage somewhere and has to basically succumb to doing everything Sophia says because she's smart enough to know that he has somebody that she can use for leverage. What do y'all think?
Yeah, definitely.
Totally agree.
Makes my sense.
Yeah,
they set it up. As soon as he said my mom's dead, I was like, oh, that's the plot.
It was the look she gave him that, like, you know, when he was telling the story and then she was like, your mom? Like, she's that important that you danced with her all night. You know what I'm saying? They definitely alluded to that. And then can we also talk about Penguin speaks Spanish? Like, I mean, it's not like
yeah.
He's Italian.
Penguin speaks Spanish. Like, what the fuck? I was like, oh shit, he's speaking. Hold on, he's speaking fucking Spanish right now. That was nuts, yo.
Yeah, that wasn't Italian. That was definitely Spanish.
It was Spanish.
No, but I mean, he speaks. I mean, he's Italian, and a lot of Spanish and Italian there's a lot of similarities there.
Italian, man, you're right, but I'm just saying, like, that shit was. I was like, yo, what the hell? He's speaking Spanish right now, and then the guy was like, yo, you got to do something with your mom, like, yo, I can't be her babysitter. And he's like, what do I pay you for to babysit her?
Right.
And then right after she was like, get me the fuck out of here, Oswald. This is not what you promised me. Like, yo. She's nuts. Her motivation to her son is basically like, oh God. Yeah, that should, oh my God.
Fuck you, Darth.
Oh,
but anyway, that's
I'm sorry. I was gonna say I think my biggest thing for me about this episode with his mom is when she said, if my son is nothing, what am I? I was like, damn.
Yeah, the son, the mom is definitely a mind fuck. She is not good for his psychosis. Because like she's like enabling his crazy attitude, making him and then she's gonna end up getting kidnapped. Yo, I'm here for it, man. But yeah,
I dare say she's driving it, not enabling. I dare say she's driving him.
Yeah, because he was about to leave. He came to pick her up, like, yo, mom, come on, we gotta go. He's like, what?
You gonna run? Oh, you gonna run? You gonna run?
He said that I raised you to be a pussy boy.
Like, oh man.
Sorry, yo.
You're doing this in front of my friends, Mom. He's standing right there. He's standing right there, Mom.
That was crazy, yo. And shout out to old boy too. Like, he's killing it. The dude that
that is Miles. That is Miles Morales.
So he's not lying. The internet has been going crazy about this, like about him, like really being a live possible adaptation for Miles. Like, we're finally getting to see one on like screen that we can actually really put into that character. So you never know, Vince. I know you'll be upset if it happens, but
I mean, I won't be upset. I don't know if I'll be upset. You know what? Let's take another look at this kid before we get into Agatha. I don't know if upset is the word. You see it? You think Miles is this guy? Okay.
Oh, absolutely, man. I absolutely believe he's Miles. Yeah. He's giving me strong Miles.
Anthony, what are your thoughts, man?
I don't like it. I think he needs to be a few shades darker. No, for real, because like I think he needs to be a few shades darker. We need to have that on the screen.
He is hella light skinned.
But
it boils down to see, because we always get into this discussion, and I understand why the discussion is what it is, but it becomes more about his ethnicity. Than it does his color. Like, because when it comes down to it, I would much rather we get an ethnic version of Miles Morales, preferably Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? Then we have to get someone who adapts to being Puerto Rican. Like, I like this dude. I do believe he is Puerto Rican. I know his last name is Aguilar. I don't know. I'm not sure, but he is of Hispanic heritage. So that is another reason why I said that he would be a perfect Miles. And I do believe he's also from up north, which would also bode well from him if that's the case. So yeah, man. So
So he's
for
actually
me,
he's Dominican. His real name is like Renzi Feliz.
Please, okay,
He's
it's not
Dominican.
pathologically.
He's not Puerto Rican. So I mean,
hey, but that's all right. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Puerto Rican.
That's not all right.
It's not all right. It's not all right. That you know, it's oil and water. They don't mix. They don't mix.
No. Oh no, definitely not same thing. Definitely not. You ask him. Most Puerto Ricans would be very offended if you called them Dominican.
I'm telling you, it's not the same thing. They are two. Yeah, it's different. Trust me. They all different.
I'm just playing. But I think that the Marvel universe, the Latino Marvel universe, would be forgiving as long as he had a solid.
No. You put a Dominican boy in a Puerto Rican Afro Latino. No, hell no. There'll be the whole Latino community would be fucking uprise on that shit. We will boycott that fucking movie, bro. No,
I don't think so. Look, Americana Chavez was Puerto Rican, but she played a Mexican in the Marvel Doctor Strange 2. And there wasn't that much hoopla about it. People,
it was absolutely.
I was gonna say, yeah,
it was more the fact that the directors did not include the Mexican dialect than it was that her background wasn't what it was. So I think the authenticity has to be more about how the characters depicted, less about who his actual background is. However, my quarrel with this young man was not even the fact that he doesn't look. I think to Ty's point, he has the look, right? If it's the look that you're asking for, he's got that part. All right, the look is there. But my concern as a Spider-Man fan, and I think that Anthony will join me on this, he's too old. Miles Morales was 13 when he got his powers. He was 13. And he has to keep getting he's getting older throughout the comics. So if he starts as a 22-year-old man, then it's not going to look well in part 6 of Spider-Man. When he's got a full grown, freaking Rick Ross beard. I'm not here for it. I want to see the young, underdeveloped, pre-pubescent Miles Morales that we got from the Spider-Man comics. What's up, Ty?
I was gonna say you got that in Spider-Verse, and then you got it. And this is what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm trying to say real quick. So the way that it could be rolled out. The Miles thing is because we had Spider-Verse and then Spider-Verse 2. If you notice in Spider-Verse 2, he aged probably 4 years, 3 to 4 years. He's now in college. Right. So if they do spark a live action Miles Morales movie based on the progression in the character from Spider-Verse, because if they do that, then by the time you get him live action, he is about 20, 21, 22. So and that's only look. I see you down there, Anthony. What I'm saying, what I'm saying is, if that is the way they roll them out. Now, if they want to go full on origin story from the very onset, then cool. 13-year-old Miles makes sense. But if the rollout is because again, Tom is now 30, almost 30 years old. Tom Holland, the live action version of Spider-Man is 30 years old.
He don't look like it though.
Well, looking and being is like I said, he's 30 years old. He doesn't look like it. This kid doesn't look that old either. Like, just if we're being honest,
he looks older than Spider-Man.
No, he does. Hold on, time out.
If we put them next to each other, just didn't even know who the fuck they were. We put them next to each other. We're like, who do you think is older? He would definitely look older than Spider-Man.
Okay, if you're talking about the version we're seeing on screen right now, then yes. But the one that we see in Penguin, no. The kid that we see in Penguin looks like he's about 17, 18 years old.
We don't know when they filmed it.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about what we know right now. We don't know. I'm not talking about hypotheticals. I'm talking about what we see on screen right now. What we see on screen right now, not this. I'm talking about on Penguin. What we see on Penguin is a kid who looks like he's no older than 18, 19 years old. So that's what I'm saying. If that's the case, that's it. Like my whole thing is, if they go based on the Spider-Verse movies and the age that he is from that last movie, he's in college, so that would put him around 18, 19 years old.
He wasn't in college. He was in high school.
He was in college.
High school.
No,
in the
No,
in the
Brooklyn Visions.
second in the
Brooklyn
second
Second
one.
movie, he was in college because his parents called him.
Yeah, what do you?
Remember, he had
Yeah,
a
what-
college roommate. Remember
No,
the-
that's a high school. He goes to high school. He goes to a
no. He
boarding
was in
school.
a he was in a boarding school. He was in high
I
school.
thought he was in college.
He was just so in the first
He only
movie,
goes
he
home
was
on the
like
weekend.
13. Yeah. And in the first movie, he was like maybe younger than he was a little kid. He was like 10, 11, 12. He wasn't that old. And then when he showed up in the second movie, he was going to those lottery schools, a charter school, but this one he was going to stay on campus. So they were trying to get him to be mature enough that they could trust him to stay on campus in this boarding charter school. So nah, he's not in college yet. He's not in college yet.
A comment back to that real quick, actually, also too. So let me when you're done, Anthony, I want to dive into that.
Well, one thing, I have an agenda, and I ain't going front. I really do have an agenda. I feel like Hollywood doesn't really do. They're not very respectful of the different skin shades of Black people, right? You got to pass a certain skin shade look before you're allowed to be in a leading movie, right? Black Panther was the exception. Right. And even that, they were trying to cast light-skinned people. Like they had Amanda Stenberg try out to be Shuri. And she was like, she backed away from it because she was like, no, I think it's important that we show more dark-skinned Black people leading this movie. So with Miles Morales, like, my thing is that personally, I need to see a dark-skinned lead. I need Marvel to invest in dark-skinned people again. Because like, it doesn't make any sense to me, and it actually gets me really upset. Like Black Panther is the highest grossing domestic superhero film, 700 million in the US alone, and they are disrespectful with the way that they roll out these films. In the span of Black Panther, we've had 3 Spider-Man movies. We're talking about the 4th one. Spider-Man don't make as much money as Black Panther, but we can't get another Black Panther movie. They ended T'Challa's story. And like, I don't want to see Miles Morales go down a route where he's not being represented authentically. I want to see a dark-skinned Latino kid who's biracial that's going through all the issues that comes with his skin color and with being biracial. That's going to be the authentic Brooklyn story that I need to see this young man journey through. That's important to me.
I love that.
Drop the mic. That's 100%. Yo, and to his point, like we cannot let them lightwash Miles Morales.
Nope.
Because he right now is the second highest rated Black character in terms of popularity in the Marvel universe. Damn near, I should say the first, because Spider-Man is Marvel's bag, right? Black Panther at this point is kind of taking a second place because Spider-Man movies are still coming out. And just like Anthony just said, the Black Panther movies right now are taking a back seat. Have we heard anything about Wakanda Forever, the seasons, the series? All we know is that right now Coogler is working on Ironheart. So we don't even know when we're going to get to Black Panther, the little one that came out the back when he was in Haiti or whatever. So I'm on the line with Anthony on this one. But I will say, to Marvel's credit, the very first Marvel movie was the darkest Black man that we have on record, which is Blade. All right, and then they came out with Luke Cage. These are long. I'm not trying to cape for Marvel. I'm not trying to cape for Marvel in any way, shape, or form. But I am going to at least, put on the record that Marvel did give us Luke Cage. They did give us Cottonmouth. They did give us Falcon and Winter Soldier, Anthony Mackie, who I know everybody got problems with Anthony Mackie's cheeks. But for Spider-Man, agreed. He does need to be of brown or darker hue. We don't want to have, and that's not the disrespect. Look, Renzi, this ain't the disrespect to take away from you, homeboy. I frankly think that you could handle this role. I just think more for me, in addition to the complexion, is the age. And as a Spider-Man fan, I don't want to see them. And also, just to one last point, I do not believe that the introduction of Miles Morales in the Spider-Man movies, the Tom Holland movies, is going to be centered around the introduction of Miles Morales in the Spider-Verse movies. I think that they're going to veer far from that. In fact, we can damn near say that they've already introduced Miles Morales in the very first Spider-Man Homecoming movie when they gave us Donald Glover, who was Aaron Davis, obviously Miles Morales' uncle, who ends up being the Prowler. So we already have a soft introduction to to Miles Morales, which has nothing to do with the Spider-Verse. So I completely anticipate that they will break. They will, and also remember, Spider-Verse isn't technically MCU. We're about to get a MCU Miles Morales, right? Because Tom Holland signed up for 4 through 6, and there's no way I think he takes the lead in those roles. I think he fades to the background as that progresses. All right, we spent another time talking about whether or not this light-skinned young man is going to end up being Miles Morales, and he probably can't. That's cool. That takes away from some of the time we had to give our true thoughts about this. I'm just gonna call it what it. I'm gonna call my. I'm gonna speak my mind about this bullshit ass show. I know people. Look, everybody don't like the fact that I talk about this like this. I ain't gonna lie. Like some people are really into this show. Some are friends of ours, but I'm not one of those people, man. Am I the only one that? All right, we only got a couple more minutes, so I'm just gonna come out and say it. I don't know if I'm gonna make it through this show, y'all. I'm just keeping it real. I don't know if I'm built for this show. Man, I cannot take another musical interlude. It's just not. It's not for me. Please, somebody talk me off this cliff because I don't know if am I missing something. Like I really did not expect it to be this bad. Like for me, this is worse than like She-Hulk. I didn't hate She-Hulk as much as everybody else. But this is really bad. Yes, talk me off this cliff. Am I missing something? Because
I don't think you're missing something. I just think that this is just not your cup of tea. And I think that's a lot of people's not cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? Like we all like different ingredients in our tea. And this is just like, I don't know, like maybe a little too much licorice on certain parts because it starts out like, you're optimistic. You know what I'm saying? You taking it in a little bit. And then you start like, really diving in and you're like, I don't know if I like this. It's not what I anticipated it to be, yet it's not as interesting and keeping me drawn in. And the storyline is not really, there's things lacking in it for me too. And then, for you and many others, I mean, I know myself, I find it funny, but I know you're not a big fan of the, the musical thing, but like, it's just, it has its quips, you know what I'm saying? Like it's got good moments in it. Like for instance, when Rio fucking used Mrs. Hart's body to fucking come out of the goddamn road, that shit, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But you know what I'm saying? Then, then it just, it got more interesting from there. And then we went down the trial and we had to sing the Ballad of the Witches Road again. And that's where we lost Vince and a lot of other people. And, and I think this show has a good premise. I think it appeals to a lot of people, but also it doesn't appeal to a lot of people. So, I mean, it's one of those shows where you either like it or you don't like it. So, I mean, it's not your fault why you're not, wanting to watch it till the end. But I just feel like that, we got to finish it, man. Like we were to start it halfway through, you know what I mean? Like just to find out what's the whole point of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just curious if Mephisto is going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there going to be a Mephisto or something like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with that. You know what I'm saying? You know me, I'm optimistic, like I'm just saying, I still think, my boy's going to come back and make a full on circle Ultron. You know who I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I got optimism. Okay. People don't die in the MCU anymore. So you never know, my man. All right. He might be back, but I don't know. It's different. That's all I'm going to say. It's different.
It looks like the comment section. Shout out to the comments. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to everybody who's watching on YouTube. Twitch right now is on fire. Shout out to the comments. It looks like there is definitely a market for it. I think that the Wiccan vote is definitely happy. Anybody who has rocks that have been charged in the moonlight, anybody who knows that that Mercury is in retrograde right now, you're loving this show right now. If you have a dream catcher over your bed, you're loving this show right now. For those of us that are not necessarily into all of the hexagons and the witchcraft, I'm into witchcraft. I actually, did y'all know that The Crow came out? Like we didn't talk about it. Like
there's a reason. There's a reason.
It was that bad.
There's a reason. I saw it the other day and I was like, what the fuck?
Really? Even with the scare, even with the Skarsgård dude
Listen,
playing.
I would love somebody in the comments to go and say and cake for this one. I would love for y'all to somebody in there to say it was great. It was a really good production. Nah, you're lying. I will call you out. You lying. I saw it. It was trash. So there's a reason why we haven't spoken about it, and more importantly, why nobody's talking about it. Not just us. Why is the world not talking about The Crow? And the fact that Skarsgård is playing because it's trash. It was a bad idea. First of all, that was a bad idea. The Crow was a classic. The Crow was a classic. The Crow 2 was, and so it was really no reason to continue this.
No, they should have definitely made a Crow, but I didn't think that they promoted it. But that's a whole other subject. We only got a couple more minutes, so let me just say these last couple of things real quick. Agatha might miss me, but I am show trapped right now, so I have to watch it because I have to know what happens. But I gotta be honest, man, it's just not hitting for me. I'm not one of the type of people that just hates Marvel projects. By the way, I know there's a lot of people that just don't like Marvel. Marvel's going the wrong direction. I do believe that, but I still have faith in them. And unfortunately, for this particular project, it's lost me. There's so many ways that they can go with this, and to go the whole Lion Witch in the Wardrobe, Yellow Brick Road direction, it's just not doing for me. We'll talk more about it next week when we don't have Rings of Power to spend the first half of the show discussing. The one thing that did release this week, also we'll talk about on the way out, is one of my favorite animation shows, Legend of Vox Machina. Yaz, I know this is one of your favorite shows as well. Did you get a chance to see any of it? I know I got the chance to see some of it. Just all I want to say, let's not spoil anything, but let's say whether or not the people that are watching our broadcast or that are listening right now, if they should look forward to this project or not. What say you?
Fuck yeah, you should look forward to this. This show never ever has, there's nothing bad you can say about this series. This show, it's a live action that was turned into an actual animation, and I'm not gonna lie, I fucking want to listen to the podcast after watching these. Like, it is amazing. The animation's amazing, the storyline's amazing, the character development, how they make you fall in love with each of the characters. I'm just saying, if you haven't fucking watched Vox Machina, what the hell are you doing with your life? Because this show is unlike any other show that's out there. It's streaming live right now. Season 3, first 3 episodes just dropped on Friday, I believe, or no, on Thursday, and it's on Amazon Prime. Hop your ass over there and go and watch it, because I'm telling you, the ride that these fucking awesome heroes go on, it is unlike any other, and it will literally leave you just like wanting to join their party. Hell yeah.
Yeah, literally. And what I love about it is it's an adult show.
Yes, don't let your kids watch it. Don't let your kids watch it.
Kids. Yeah, don't let the cartoon shit fool you. This shit is not for kids, man. This shit is 100% for adults. And the third episode, I'm just gonna say,
it was slapping.
It's not for kids.
No.
They get naked and all that shit, man. This shit is crazy. But anyway, man, we got to go ahead and head up out of here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Shout out to Anthony for pulling up. Bad Tie, yes. Shout out to Nolly who couldn't make it. She's doing family stuff. And the rest of our family, Tyrone, Tiffy, Omar, Kev, everybody. And also want to say that next week, since we are not talking about Rings of Power anymore, we'll probably have more room to talk about From. For those of y'all that like From, this psycho fucking goddamn completely asinine show that has no answers in all questions. We're gonna delve into this shit.
I'm so glad Anthony is here, because all I gotta say is, Anthony, why the fuck you didn't tell me about episode 1? And look, we're not going to talk about it right now, but Anthony, you motherfucker, you did not tell me about episode 1. And I was mad. I
I've only gotten like a quarter way through episode 1. So, I know. I had a crazy.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
I'm ready. I'm ready to find out. But next week, man, be ready to dive into season 3, y'all. Because if you haven't watched this shit, please subscribe to MGM Plus and go get your ass on the train. Because this is one of them psycho ass fucking series you do not want to miss out.
So From is not good for people with anxiety. Just a heads up, man.
Or that is
heart problems. Pregnancies.
Yeah.
None of that.
This show is not for the weak, goddammit. You better come with your soul intact. But anyway, once again, thanks everybody. Shout out to Twitch. Shout out to everybody on Spotify. Shout out to iHeartMedia. Normally Ty gives a shout out, but we ain't got time. We got to hurry up and get the fuck about this bitch. So we want to go ahead and say to everybody in this motherfucker, if you being your goddamn authentic self, keep being yourself, goddamn, because if you ain't being fake, and in all things, if you a geek, whether you in the Shire or you in Gotham, or whether or not you in Middle Earth or somewhere in some fucked up ass city in Westview, please be your authentic self. Because if you're not, you're being fake. And in all things, let that geek flag fly. If you a true geek, deuces.
I love the new blurred order. You should too.
Let me get all this 10p Wayne. All the niggas rapping about the same old thing. I've been coming through with the same old gang. Ain't shit changed except nine got a name. Got it out the mud, but we got no stains. Cold ass digital with a gold ass chain. The girl call me daddy, not my government name. Money on my mind, got them bands on my brain. Let me tell y'all about a nigga I